Eh, Good morning, Legacy Builders. Good morning, and happy Tea Time Tuesday. Come on in. Let me see who's joining me. Thank you. I see. Good morning, Michelle. Good morning to my mother. See, good morning, Daniel. Great to see you. So glad to have you here. Good morning, Instagram. Come on in. And as always, join me. Let me know what you're drinking with me: tea, coffee, water, whatever your beverage of choice is. Come on in and join me. All right. Let me see who else we have. Ron, good morning. Mark, Michelle, yes, Francesca. Great to have you here. Come on in. We're gonna get started. All right. So, okay, let me see. Okay, spiced apple cider. Ooh, that sounds so good, Tamika. Ooh, wonderful. Core fresh water, Francesca. I love it. Okay, let me get another sip here before I get going. Okay, a little almond matcha for me, and water that I keep nearby always. Wonderful. Okay, continue to come on in as we get started. Let me know what you're drinking. Friend, hello, Miss Farrell. Futrell. Coffee and water. See, you're like me. Gotta have your tea, your coffee, and water on the side. Yes. All right, continue to come in, and we're gonna go ahead and get started on this conversation. Let me introduce myself again for those who don't know me. My name is Marcella Mullen Williams. I am the co-founder of Legacy Builder Group. We help families achieve financial certainty and create impactful multi-generational legacy wealth. So that is what we're about. And speaking of financial certainty, we're going to talk a little bit about that today, especially when it comes to passing on financial certainty to the next generation. So, I recently came across a Facebook video discussing the net worth of three young celebrity moguls. I posted it in the Facebook group last night in preparation for this conversation today. Did anyone get a chance to look at the reel that I posted in the group about the young people? Let me know in the chat if you had a chance to or not. Doesn't matter if you didn't. It won't take away from the conversation. Good morning, Sheila. All right. Yep. Okay, Tamika, you saw it. Great. Yes, Francesca. Okay, great. Some of you, yes, Michelle. All right, great. So you caught it. And we're going to have a conversation just stemming from this right here. Not yet, Sheila. No worries. You'll catch right along. Now, so it was about these three young celebrity moguls, and through the efforts of their famous parents, these kids have amassed a substantial financial wealth at a very young age. And that's why I'm going to have this conversation. Yep, Daniel. Okay, you saw it. Great. Yes, so they've amassed all this wealth at very young ages. I can't remember the oldest, the actual ages of them, but they're young and their parents are well known. We're talking about Jenners, Kardashians, Carters. And so you're not families that are unfamiliar to most of us. Now, let me just set the premise of this conversation because I want to be absolutely clear with you, legacy builders. We're not here to have a conversation about these families, how they live their lives, and whether we like them or not. Okay? Are we clear on that? This is not a conversation we're having today. This is not a celebrity gossip group. And we're here to talk about money, legacy building, wealth building. That's the conversation. We're just using their story to guide this conversation. So I just want to make sure we're all clear. So there, I'm having this conversation. It was a little challenging for me because I'm just not the person who follows the everyday lives of celebrities and their children. It's just that's their world. That's their not their world, but it's their life. I'm just not interested in being in other people's business too much. I have enough happening with my business. We're all here building legacies. That's the kind of people that we are. So being in other people's business just isn't something that we have time for, right? However, the content of this video had me thinking, especially after I read some of the comments. Yeah, that really interests me. And y'all already know, those who've been following me know that I am going to the comments. When I come across an interesting video, interesting content on social media, y'all know I run to the comments. Why? Because that's where people tell on themselves. Like we're all guilty, but if you've left a comment on any piece of content, you are leaving a piece of yourself behind. You're telling the world how you think, a little bit about your mindset. It's okay. Most of us do that intentionally. A lot of us don't even realize we're doing it. So this is why, as a behaviorist, this is why I like to go to the content, just to get an idea of what people are thinking. And it did not disappoint. Yes, the content and the comments convinced me to have this conversation with you today. So that is why we are having a conversation about the power of legacy building and really what it takes to create financial certainty for the next generation in a similar way that these families have done so for their kids. The it doesn't matter whether, people like to focus on the fact that, these are celebrities, they're celebrity status. The comments, again, that showed up a lot. Oh, well, I'll go into that later. I will definitely go into some of the comments that I saw. But when I looked at this video, instead of just being caught up in the celebrity status of these children, the incredible dollar amounts that they already have, um, my mind kind of went to this question. I began to wonder what makes these multimillionaire family practices different from what the average American family is capable of doing now. Because so often we tend to separate or see ourselves so different than these individuals that we often put or society puts on pedestals. And what I am asking you to do as legacy builders or challenging you to do as legacy builders is see the similarities, see what are the practices that they are doing that resemble what we talk about continuously in this group. And that's what I began to notice. These families took intentional actions to create financial certainty for their children and hopefully their children's children. So they took action, intentional action, and we know about intentionality in this group because everything that we do as legacy builders is all about intention, consistent intention, right? That's what we're talking about here. So I want to look at the actions they took and are taking and see how it works for us. No matter where you are, it doesn't matter whether you are a millionaire, a multimillionaire, six-figure, five-figure earner, wherever you are, wherever your tax bracket lands, what can you do today to set your children up for financial certainty? All right. So let's look at a few things that we can talk about here. Let's look at what we're going to do. And Kylie said, missed the title. Yes, there was the link in the Facebook group You'll see the video there so you can take a look at it afterwards because I don't want you to pause what we're talking about here to go look at it. Like I said, it won't have any bearing on this conversation. So let's get into it. What can we do today? The power of legacy building. This is how it works. The power of legacy building. What can we do today to create financial certainty for the next generation? First thing we can look at and first action we can take today is to raise kids with a money mindset and money language. That is what I pulled from the video and some other information of financial articles that I've read that involve some of these individuals. But honestly, my studies, my understanding of the difference between the wealthy and the non-wealthy. When it comes to passing on wealth, when it comes to creating financial certainty for the next generation, it's about raising kids with a money language and money mindset. So I want to start with this point for us here today. It's okay to set your children up for financial success. Can we agree with that? And let me put it in the comments. Let me know if we're all on the same page. And that might sound very simple and obvious, especially for us as legacy builders. But let me tell you, it is not for everyone. And when you read the comments, you will see what I'm talking about if you choose to read the comments. There are a lot of people with the mindset that it is not okay. There are a lot of people that feel like, nope, they need to fend for themselves. And it stems from their understanding of money. It stems from the parents' understanding of whatever of their background, their financial background, what their environment was like. Depending on you as a parent, how we were raised, and our thoughts and beliefs around money, that is going to frame the money mindset and the money language that we raise our children in. So, what we need to do is make sure that we're developing a mental syntax of wealth. So, wealthy people have a particular mental syntax. And when I say mental syntax, I'm referring to the patterns of thoughts that guide our beliefs, our decisions, and our behavior. We had a conversation about mental syntax and developing the mental syntax of wealthy people a few months ago. So I will definitely make sure that's a replay in the future. But this is a very important point because how you process your understanding of money, how you shape your belief, your decisions, your behavior around money will impact your children. So one of the most powerful things you can do today is developing and shaping the mental syntax that you want to develop in order for your children to have a healthy money mindset. Speak healthy money language. Develop a family culture that normalizes healthy money conversation, healthy money beliefs, and healthy money behavior. And one of the things that we do in the family legacy experience, and Mark and I teach with our groups, are this powerful concept of creating a family culture around this type of mental syntax. So, and for those who are coming up on their 6 months with us, you know what we're talking about. We worked really hard to shift your mindsets around this concept. But that's something we can all do today by reading books, watching documentaries, staying plugged into the community and listening to us every Tuesday and having these healthy money conversations that you can now take to your kids. So that's the first point here. Oh, yes. So let me read the comments here. Absolutely, yes. But with them understanding the things are earned, not entitled. Okay, yes, entitled. Wealth is entitled. Wealth is entitled. Okay. I want to hear more about that, Kyla, when what you mean by that. But we're going to touch on that a little bit because that is one of the issues there. Thank you for the comments. Entitlement. A lot of times that is one of the reasons why they feel like you can't pass down money. They're not setting their children up for success because they're afraid of entitlement. And we're going to touch on that. We're going to get right back to it. So the second, um, the second point we want to talk about and how these wealthy families practice passing on financial certainty in a way that we can't today is that they use tools to efficiently pass on their wealth. Yes, they do. They use specific tools to do that. So, what we want to do, so I'm looking at these comments here. Nancy says, my daughter and her two boys are starting businesses. Perfect. That's a perfect segue to what I'm talking about here. Tools. Business is a tool. So, that's one thing we could touch on. But let me go back here. Using tools to efficiently pass on your wealth. Now, when I looked at this, at the comments for this video, the video talks about these three, the richest kids in America. And I saw some of the comments and I thought, okay, possibly not. Some of the comments were talking about, I doubt if they are not, I doubt that they're the richest kids in America. And I wanted to touch on this because, yes, you can make wealth in the public eye. You could be wealthy in the public eye, and you can be wealthy in the private areas, private sector. And it made me think of the Rockefellers and the Rockefeller Trust and some of the other wealthiest families in the country and in the world. And Mark and I have talked about the Rockefellers a number of times. Here's the thing. Yes, there may be other families, other young people that are richer than them that are in this country, and they choose to be private about it. Others choose to be public. The choice is yours. You don't need to fear money, wealth, because of the publicity that maybe you don't want. Maybe you do like the publicity. These are all actually factors that shape your mindset around money and how you can build wealth and building wealth. And it's something I discover about myself because I actually don't like being in the public eye. I know you wouldn't guess it because of what I do, but I actually don't like being upfront seen. I like being private. However, there is a way that you can eat it too. And so there are vehicles in which you can be more private about your wealth, whether while you're here and after you're gone. But the key to this is creating the right tools in order to build and pass on wealth to the next generation in whichever way you desire. So perhaps you've heard of one of the tools is called $1 Million Baby, in which is a strategy and in which you can build wealth for your children using whole life policies, maximum funding life insurance, so that your children can be millionaires. That is one tool. It could be property that you leave for your children, that you develop for your children and children's children. As Nancy talked about, businesses, trademarking intellectual property, trust, a lot of, even as I talk about all these things, all funneling through a trust is so important. And I talk about all these things, and you just continue to be creative in ways in which you can build wealth for your children. Both of my children grew up in business. I grew up in a business, and y'all know my story of being the fifth generation in business. My kids have intellectual property that they did once and continue to make money from. As many of you know, my daughter wrote a book. My son is in entertainment, so he has a catalog of songs and I don't know all the terminology for the music industry, but the things that he does and creates. So teaching ourselves and in teaching our kids all the creative ways to be able to set them up. My kids also have life insurance policies since they were young, all these things to create financial certainty. So there's an aspect of talking about the language, talking about money, having these money conversations. Now let's be creative. How can we build? What can we use? What tools are available to us and for us to start where we are and build on that? So that's the key. It's using the tools to efficiently pass on their wealth. Let me pause and check the comments because I know y'all have I see some things popping up here. Let me see. Sheila, when a healthy money mindset is your family culture, wealth comes with responsibility and not just to yourself, but to the family and to your community. Absolutely. Definitely. Wealth is entitled, it has been earned and entitled to next generation who should be educated on their earnings and contributing to the wealth to entitle future generation to remain, let's see, in it. Oh, I love it. Okay. To be entitled. Oh, I can't see the rest of it. Entitled to the wealthy space. Okay. Gotcha. I'm going to come back and read some of these because these are good. Y'all are like, I love it. Y'all are like putting out some really good information as I'm struggling to read here because the lighting is a little too dim here, but let's see. These kiddos don't come from generational wealth. Oh, good point, Tamika. These kids don't come from generationally wealthy families. So their wealth is from money earned, not inherited. That is also a good point with these particular kids. All right. Trust, intellectual property, business, entertainment, whole life policies, all good to start where you are. That's great. Thank you, Nancy. Great comments here. Keep it coming. So we've talked about having the healthy mental syntax around your family culture. We're talking about the tools to efficiently pass on wealth, pass on financial certainty to the next generation, however you want that to show up publicly, privately. And the third is to build around values, build around the family values, and eliminate any fear that's residual. And this has to do with, and I'm loving the comments on this because you all are continually touching on this. You're talking about passing on the wealth, but making sure that it's more about you, making sure that it's not an entitled or just inherited money without adding to the value of what that money stands for. This is what we are about as legacy builders. And I think for me, I look at this part right here is the difference between a wealth builder and a legacy builder. And you see, I use the term legacy wealth builder interchangeably with legacy builder, because there is a difference between an individual that's just building wealth and an individual that is building a legacy. Wealth is a part of it, but as we teach in the family legacy experience, as this and in this community, to add, in order for a legacy to truly be passed on in a healthy manner, it's more than passing on the financial assets. You have to include the intellectual assets. That is the difference. And that's the detail that many people miss. I can't speak for these celebrity families. I have no idea all the details of what they're passing on. But in this group and with my family, we are focused on the intellectual assets just as much as the financial assets. So when I looked at the comments, a lot of the reactions to this video are people expressing their disdain for, because these children didn't work for it. They didn't earn it. And regardless of what they think that means, for us in this group, a concern might be that, we just give our kids our wealth, and how will they stand for the values, right? This is one of the concerns. I'm worried that they'll become spoiled or entitled. This is what I just talked about. These are some of the concerns I saw, in the comments. This is some of the concerns that plague us as parents. How do I make sure that my kids don't become entitled in a negative way? And you know what I'm saying? Just to, they feel that they deserve this, that we owe them this money because I'm born into. You know, it happens to all of us. I was a little entitled as a kid. My kids were a little entitled, but it never went too far. You know, you born into a first world country dealing with first world problems and conveniences. It happens. But how do we control that? How do we do our part to create an intentional environment so that our children could really understand the family values and allow money to be a tool to that? So we've talked about this before, you know, as legacy builders. The challenge isn't just building a legacy and passing along wealth, but passing along wealth and the legacy that our children can carry in understanding love and increase. This is why it's so important to start instilling values in your business and your life right now. Instill the values, be really clear. What are your family values? What are your business values? What does that look like? How can I express this to my children? And again, in the family legacy experience, we went through that in detail. We spent really good time getting clear on the values, creating the family culture around that. Begin instilling values as early as possible. It doesn't matter if your child is a millionaire or not. We here have a legacy mindset. Whether even if you have not reached a financial goal that you're looking for, that you're looking to reach, it starts in the mind before the money arrives. So we don't need to allow the fear of failure. We don't need to allow any fear of money, scarcity, anything from stopping us from being creative and setting up a legacy for our children. We have to instead, we need to get more creative in how we're going to pass along our wealth and instill these crucial values so that our children are children of increase. No matter where you are, no matter where you came from, we are raising children of increase. And that is what makes you a powerful legacy builder. It starts here before it hits here. And when you can realize that you are capable of doing the same thing that these families are doing right now. When you understand that, you've created far more opportunities going forward than perhaps previous generations did for you. Not knocking what our parents and our ancestors did for us, but you are the chain breaker. That may be you in this family. You are the chain breaker, the change maker, the legacy builder. And that's what we're here to do. So I want to challenge you looking at these processes, going back and understanding that creating a mental synapse, having the family culture and language, speaking the money mindset and language to your kids, creating several efficient tools to pass on. And if this is something you're working on or haven't done yet, contact me. Send me a direct message so that we can schedule a consultation, you with me, with Mark, so we can have a conversation about these tools that you can start now to create for your children and set them up for financial certainty. And then being and understanding that establish the values that are more powerful than money itself. And that will actually be the thing that creates the legacy that you can pass on. Again, something that we implement within our family legacy experience, something that we establish with all our clients, but it's powerful. So I want you to do that. Oh, I'm seeing these comments. Let me pause because there are so many great there. I'm seeing so many great comments here. I'm just going to have to go back and, as always, look through them. I always enjoy going back and looking through this. Marcella, you're on point. Thank you. Nancy is seeing so many great things. All right, for the sake of time, I love the conversation going on here. Y'all are getting it. You guys are getting it. So continue on this journey, stay on this path, stay plugged into these conversations. I hope you're seeing the difference in your mindset as you continue to stay plugged in. I want to just shout out to all of our family legacy experience family, who are, as we call our flex family, who are really pouring into their families who have poured into their families for those last 6 months and instilling all that we talked about today. And a special shout out to our new group that starts today. If you are a part of the new group and happen to be on or catch the replay and you're starting today, I'm looking forward to starting this 12-month journey with you all. And Mark and Gabrielle and I are also really looking forward to starting this journey with you all. And we're really grateful for each and every one of you legacy builders that are in this Facebook community for the commitment that you have to yourself and to your family to grow. So until next time, Legacy Builders, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for your remarkable contributions in the chat. I will talk to you next time. Stay blessed and continue to build your legacy. Bye-bye.